Hey everybody! So this spring has really been gorgeous. It's only actually just kind of starting, but I'm looking out my window and all the trees have tiny little green leaves on them. So pretty. Anyway, so before I actually start this video, somebody recently told me, well, they asked me, they were like, Laura, do you ever have a bad day? Because you always seem so happy. And I just have to break the news to you that yes, I sometimes do have a bad day. Yeah, so I figured I may as well just throw it out there and just give you a grumpy face, just because sometimes I am grumpy, so. That's my grumpy face, just kidding. Anyway, so gorgeous spring and the big old magnolia trees in the front of our academy building, which is the one that looks like a great big castle. Those magnolias are in full bloom, pink, white, so beautiful. Anyway, so to my video for today, I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a mom at the Bruderhof. And I guess I started thinking about this more because I watched one of Rich and Doreen's recent videos, which is located on the Bruderhof channel, and which, if you haven't seen it yet, you totally should watch it. They were talking about raising children in community. And one of the questions they got was something along the lines of, how can you be away from your kids all day? And then they said, I could never part with mine. Now, I can completely and totally respect that mom's question. And then at the same time, it kind of also made me smile a bit. I couldn't help but think how lucky I am. I'm not parted from my kids all day, and yet I do have a mix of fulfilling and active work at the same time. And no, this is not quantum physics where you can be in two places at the same time, like with my kids and at work at the same time. How do I explain that? Well, I'll first describe to you a bit of like a layout of one of our Bruderhof communities. If you haven't come for a visit yet, I'll kind of describe it a bit for you. And if you have visited, you have a great mental picture. So rural Bruderhofs are built like small villages, like a small village or like a campus. Our home, school, places of work are within easy walking distance, and so are our medical and dental clinics. So, a typical day, Chris walks the boys to their play group in the morning, and I'll stay at home a little bit longer, put things to right, put the dishes away, sweep the house, tidy up a little, and then I'll head off to my own work. So, I've said this before in either a recent video, I can't remember. Anyway, but right now I'm working, I do cleaning around, and I work with this great lady, and we kind of like tidy up and make communal spaces welcoming, and a plethora of stuff. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, but it's always understood that kids come before work. So first of all, every mom gets a 6-week maternity leave when their baby is born. And after that, for both my boys, I could drop in to feed them whenever they needed me or throughout the day. And if they have a health or dental checkup, I can just drop by, pick them up, and walk over to the clinic. And my coworkers won't have a problem with that, and I won't lose any pay since, I don't get paid. And also, during the day, I can go by and check in on them, see how they're doing, like any time during the day. So, and then if Branson or Xander is sick and needs to stay home with mom, I'll touch base with the person who helps coordinate the daily work so that she knows that someone will need to cover for me, and then I'll stay home with him as long as needed. So it's kind of like, whatever, general. But then, and the morning section, but then COVID has made the middle of the day a little bit different. So pre-COVID, we used to gather as a community for lunch, which was like a really great chance to see everyone, sing some songs, enjoy delicious food together, and hear announcements. And sometimes the elementary school kids would do like a musical performance or like a recital or read poems. And then My personal favorite was nature lunch, when the kids would tell about the various new nature they've observed, like a new calf in the barn, or like a robin building a nest, or they saw a black snake or something. Ugh, I hate snakes. Hate snakes. Okay, hate snakes. Anyway, but great practice for public speaking, which I think is really important to learn. Anyway, sorry, that's a total tangent. But these days, the communal kitchen, they'll still prepare a very tasty meal, which families pick up at noon to enjoy in their own homes. And then, COVID or not, we have some family downtime just to hang out, reconnect before everyone heads off in different directions for the afternoon. I'm not going to go into a deep dive into my work schedule here, because now that I remember, I actually covered that in a video I made a while back. I can put the link below for those of you who haven't seen it yet. It's called What Does Laura Do All Day? And you can actually see some of the places where I work, and you can see the people that I work with. You'll probably find it a little more interesting than a talking head. Anyway. But it's refreshing that after like a midday break, some of us may have a different task or job to do in the afternoons. It kind of like changes up the day, which I really appreciate. And it also brings me into contact with different people than I maybe saw in the morning. So I really enjoy the snack break. So usually there's one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And sometimes you can get into very surprising conversations with folks that you thought you knew pretty well. And then certainly for the school kids who meet back in the school building, their afternoon agenda is the fun stuff. So it's nature study, it's exploring, gardening, hiking, a lot of bird watching at this time of year with the bird migrations, because it's spring. All the birds are heading back north again. Anyway, and here at the Mount, the kids are doing a lot of fishing in the Hudson River. Anyway, we're all converging on home by 5 o'clock in the evening, and then it's all about being together as a family. And it's something I know is a highlight for every family. It certainly was for me growing up. It certainly was for Chris. And it's a lot of fun for Chris and me to do the same for our boys now. We're very intentional about turning off the tech, so phones away, no such thing as a computer after 5. It's time for play or walk, bedtime story, throwing a ball out behind the house. We'll always eat food. I'll make grilled cheese or do something, and cupcakes or something with the boys. Anyway, and then we'll have our evening routine, bedtime story, lullabies, and then tuck-in time. So sometimes after the kids are in bed, there's an evening worship meeting for the adults. And then one of us parents will babysit for the families in our building or on our floor so that everyone else can attend. We also protect our weekends from overtime work, and it's a chance to invite friends over for a cookout, or like go down to the river, peace out. What am I saying? No, we invite friends down to the river to go fishing. Anyway, very fun. So speaking as a mom, I think that there's a wonderful balance of home and work life. I'm not just saying that. They're kind of seamless most of the time. At any rate, they're not complete opposites. But I feel that I can do both, and I enjoy both. But beyond that, I believe it's a way to live that keeps work in its place. There's always a lot to do, and of course, we all need to pull together to get it done. It's kind of like a ship's crew. I kind of like to think of it like different tasks or rotations to keep the whole thing moving forward. So, rowing forward, rowing speed. Okay, that was a Ben-Hur reference. I don't know when I watched Ben-Hur, years ago. So at the same time, work can't drive us at the expense of the person next to you. So Like if you notice that someone is having a hard day, it's time to stop and see if they need a walk, a cup of coffee, a chance to talk. I think that's just really important, and I definitely have that kind of in my mind the whole time. I've definitely had to say sorry for being late to work a couple times, for being late for talking with someone. So anyway, I would be very interested to know how you figure out the work-life balance in your home. I know it's a big balancing act for everyone, you know, especially when you have like young kids and so on, and each person and family kind of has to find out what works best for them. So I would love to hear from you in the comments, you know, how it works for you and what it's been like for you. Anyway, so I'll see you all next time, and until then, stay happy, stay well. Bye.